I would like to reconvene this Board of Education meeting at 7:12 p.m. Please let the record reflect that all board members are present this evening. If I could ask you all to please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Okay, next we're going to move on to report of action taken in closed session. We are pleased to announce, with a motion by Elizabeth Reuter, seconded by Robin Merkley, and a unanimous vote, that the Board of Education in closed session has appointed Valentina Shabata to be the principal of Whitcomb High School. The appointment will be effective July 1st, 2023, and will be placed on Step 5 of the Certificated Management Salary Schedule. Congratulations to Ms. Shabata. She will be attending the June meeting for her introductions, and we look forward to all meeting her then. Again, we welcome you all here. We love to see an open house, especially when it comes to student recognition. So thank you all for coming. We're going to move right on. I've got to adopt the agenda. I was so excited about the kids. May I have a motion to adopt the agenda?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. The agenda is adopted as presented. Now I'm going to move on to board recognitions. Dr. DeGrazia?
Thank you, President Reuter, members of the board, distinguished guests. We have a number of outstanding students and student athletes to recognize here this evening. So I would like to invite to the microphone first, Principal of Glendora High School, Miss Jamie Norrell. Please welcome her. I believe our first group will be the Palomares 5.
So thank you, Dr. DeGrazia, President Reuter, Glendora Unified Board of Trustees. I'm elated to be here this evening celebrating some of Glendora High School's most amazing students. Glendora High School has a rich tradition of encouraging students to pursue passion both in and out of the classroom. And as you will see, these students have absolutely knocked it out of the park in this area. Our first group to recognize are Palomares 5. On Monday, April 24th, we joined other schools from the Palomares League in celebrating 5 of our seniors who've earned their spot as exceptional seniors on our campus through their efforts in the classroom, on the athletic field, or in the arts. These seniors are some of the most amazing human beings. First, we would like to recognize Marquise Brown. Marquise will be attending Vanguard in the fall, where he will be wrestling and majoring in sports medicine. Next, Evan Ellis. Evan is currently working with multiple schools to find a college that will allow him to continue his amazing baseball pitching career, as well as major in microbiology. Next, the best dressed of our seniors this evening, Mr. Casey Gerber. Casey will be attending UCLA and majoring in economics next fall. Next, Kendra Gonzalez. Kendra is currently weighing her options between the University of Nebraska and Ole Miss, where she plans to major in biology. And finally, Cheyenne Scarborough. Cheyenne will be attending Troy University, playing soccer, and then majoring in biology. Ladies and gentlemen, our Palomares 5. Next, I would like to call it Mr. Pat Hart, Ms. Paris Chakravarty, Jehan Fernando, Mia Rigstad, and Kirtan Venkatesh. These, ladies and gentlemen, are our Ethics Bowl team from Glendora High School. Come on up. And like any good team, they coordinated their outfits tonight, so I'm very impressed with that. These 4 individuals represented Glendora High School in the Ethics Bowl competition. Out of 4 GHS teams, 2 qualified for the regionals, where they competed against 24 other teams. After finding victory at the regional level, the team competed against Northern California in the state competition, where they won it all. They then qualified for the national competition in North Carolina. Unfortunately, the same group had already invested in a trip to Italy, so they had to forego their final competition. But we are so proud of this team, as well as Jahan, who was a keynote speaker at the regional level competition, charged with welcoming a very tensed and focused group of individuals and articulating the importance of the program and the impact it has not just on our campus, but on society as a whole. Finally, none of this would be possible without Mr. Hart, who volunteers his time to provide this amazing opportunity to our students. We are so proud, and considering we have 3 juniors behind us, we can't wait to see where next year takes them. Next, we would like to recognize some of our amazing student athletes who rose to the top of their athletic fields by earning CIF championship honors. Will Lily Burson, Samantha Sachs, Marquise Brown, and Charlie Reuter please join me? We're going to start with Lily. Lily was our first ever GHS cheerleader to be named to an all-CIF Southern Section traditional competitive cheer honors. Lily has been cheering for 4 years at Glendora High School and will be attending Mount San Antonio College, where she plans to continue that trend. Congratulations, Lily. Next up is Samantha Sachs. You will probably recognize Samantha from her previous visits here, but she was a CIF champion in the 121 weight class. Then she competed at the state level in the same class, earning a 3rd place finish. Samantha is also busy training with her club team, which competes year-round. She is eyeing that state championship spot for next year, and we have no doubt she'll be visiting us again up here. Thank you. Congratulations, Samantha. Another familiar face, Marquise, who is standing here to my right, won CIF in the 170-pound weight bracket. His amazing performance also earned him all CIF honors and qualified him for state. We are excited to see the amazing things that Marquise is going to accomplish at Vanguard next year. Congratulations. And finally, another familiar face, Charlie Reuter, who is a 2-time CIF champion diver. This year, Charlie not only won his division, but also qualified for the state qualifying meet, where he placed 8th in a very competitive field. This summer, Charlie will be working towards qualifying for Junior Olympics, and also he will be entrenched in the recruiting process. We are so proud of Charlie and wish him well. And then finally, while GHS offers some amazing opportunities for our students to excel, sometimes they follow their passions outside of school. Will Daniel Wing please join me up here? Daniel is a competitive pianist and saxophone player. In the fall, Daniel applied and was accepted to an elite saxophone competition in Northern California. The California All-State Band Convention afforded Daniel the opportunity to perform with the best of California, learning and performing 5 pieces during his short time with this group. Then, this past spring, Daniel competed as a pianist in the Music Lights the Way Festival, which took place at Corner Hall in Toronto, Canada. At this competition, Daniel placed second in level 10, which was the highest level. Daniel is also a member of our GHS marching and jazz band and is looking toward his senior year and continuing his competitive music career and pursuing that as a minor or an emphasis at a collegiate level. Get used to seeing Daniel. I think we'll see him also a lot up here next year. Ladies and gentlemen, Daniel Wing.
We really do love celebrating our students for the multitude of things that they feel passion for, and we're really glad that you have been able to find that passion in Glendora Unified School District. I feel a little self-serving when I do this, but I will also take a minute to thank all the parents out there. You all show up, you're at the piano practices, you're sitting on the bleachers, you're driving somebody somewhere, and without your support and the support of siblings who might have to give up holidays, whatever the case might be, in supporting their siblings, finding their passion. Thank you all for what you do for our students, and thank you all for coming here to celebrate our students this evening. That's it for the board recognition right now. You all are welcome to stay for the whole evening. We have a really interesting board meeting ahead of us, but I will give you a moment to exit out the back if you might like to. Don't go. Wow, I really know how to clear a room. Hi, Mrs. Beechler. I'm happy to see you. Okay. Statement for of the board president. Really, I'm just going to welcome you all. We're going to move on to public comment shortly. We've experienced wonderful public comments for quite some time right now, so I don't think I need to go over any of the rules. There will be a 3-minute timer up there to remind you of your limit, please. We're going to move on to public comment right now. I only have one public comment from B. Austin Moon, please.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Austin Moon, and I am with the California School Boards Association. I know y'all haven't had a pacer for a while, but I am the new pacer for the region. I just wanted to introduce myself. For those of you who don't know, the pacer stands for Public Affairs and Community Relations Representative. It's really long. That's why I needed my phone here. I still haven't memorized it yet. I just started a couple weeks ago. But anyway, again, I just want to introduce myself. I know that, again, you haven't had one in a long time, but I'm here to help the school boards in the region strengthen legislative advocacy efforts for the state. I'm looking forward to working with you all, getting to know any of you who are involved with CSBA. And if you have any questions or wanted to set up a meeting with myself, just feel free to reach out. I've left my information with the board's secretary, and thank you very much for taking them. But yeah, thank you so much, and have a good day.
That is the only public comment card I have. However, I will call anybody else up that might like to make a public comment at this time. Seeing none, we'll keep right on moving, and we're going to go to Ms. Chen and the student board member report, please.
Good evening, Board of Trustees. My name is Lavina Chen, and I will be reporting on the following schools today: Cullen Elementary, Stanton Elementary, Sutherland Elementary, Sandburg Middle School, and Glendora High School. To start off, I will begin with Cullen Elementary. The kindergarten class was very excited to have Happy Hooves back this year. Students were able to experience a few different farm animals, but the baby goats stole the whole show. Second graders put on a performance teaching all about dinosaurs. The students performed with enthusiasm, and their parents were very proud of them. The third graders have been attending their walking field trip around Glendora in order to study Glendora's history. They will walk to Rubel Castle and the Glendora Historical Museum. Current third and fourth grade teachers were asked to apply for next year's first Cullen Student Council. Mr. Sabota will be leading a student council next year, and they have had over 60 students apply for only 35 spots. Students will be working with the PTA and the staff to encourage and promote school functions and activities. Most fourth graders were able to participate in a writer's celebration, and parents were invited to hear their students read their most recent writing. The teachers toasted their efforts and celebrated their success. Fifth grade students were treated to a presentation from the middle school vice principal, and they were invited to visit the campuses of the school they will be attending next year. PTA hosted a wonderful family bingo night. There were over 150 people in attendance as they ate popcorn and candy while playing for some amazing prizes that were donated by the Cullen families. Around Earth Day, the environmental defenders came and treated the school to an assembly on the importance of doing their part to help protect our planet. Cullen's many talents were put on display at the Cullen Variety Show, and students and staff alike showed off their amazing talents through music, dance, and public speaking. It was an amazing night of fun. Next, Stanton Elementary. April was a busy and exciting month for Stanton Elementary. Here are a few activities they participated in. Second grade students visited the LA Zoo last Friday as the third and final part of their field trip. Third grade students attended the in-house collaborative Discovery Cube field trip. They delightfully participate in collaborative science experiments. Fourth grade students participated in the interactive and collaborative in-house Walk Through California field trip. Fifth grade students visited Sandburg and Goddard Middle Schools. CAA SPP testing has been taking place for students in grades 3rd through 5th. Students have been working hard and giving their best effort. Staff, students, and parents attended the district LCAP meeting. They looked at the data to see areas of strength and areas of growth. Family Math Night on April 20th was well attended by Stanton families. Parents and students were able to choose from 2 different sessions to learn how to best support students in all areas of math. VAPA Family Night will take place on Thursday, May 27th. Using Soundtrap, students and parents created music, then choreographed dance moves to their tunes. Book fair is taking place this week. Our grand opening and preview on April 28th was a great success. They were happy to honor their staff during last week's Teacher Appreciation Week. Next, Sutherland Elementary. Last month, Sutherland had the privilege of celebrating and honoring the work of their office staff, librarian, and computer aide. Their hard work does not go unnoticed, and Sutherland is grateful for all the ways they make Sutherland great. It's time for the 5th graders to plan for their transition in middle school. In preparation, they have visited the middle schools and parents have attended informational meetings. Sutherland is looking forward to the end of the year celebrations that they have planned for their 5th grade students. PTA hosted a mother and son date night last month. Both students and parents enjoyed the safari-themed event, relaxing, unwinding, and spending time with new and familiar faces. Sutherland is halfway through their 2nd session of chess club. Students have enjoyed playing chess during their recess and lunch times. Thank you to Day and Night Chess for bringing the game of chess to so many of the students. This is the 3rd week of state testing. Students have been working very hard and persevering through these past few weeks. Sutherland is proud of their endurance and focus. Next, Sandburg Middle School. PE went on their first district golf field trip. 36 Spartans attended and were delighted to attend. Sports wrapped up on Wednesday, April 26th with the final track meet at Covina District Field. Avid had an ice cream party for Spartans on May 4th after school. The 8th graders will be going on a wonderful field trip to Knott's Berry Farm. Then Sandberg's Honor Society will be taking a group of Spartans on a field trip to Universal Studios on Monday, May 22nd. Sandberg has hit their final stretch of the year and will be celebrating with their event of the year, Waterpalooza. All Spartans will participate in this stellar event on Friday, May 19th, and it is sure to be a day of fun-filled water activities. Lastly, Glendora High School. Last week, ASB and our PTA helped to celebrate National Teacher Appreciation Week. And right now, JHS is in the middle of AP testing, expecting to administer over 1,100 exams over the 9 days of testing. Good luck to the Tartans and test well. ASB hosted a JHS movie night this past Saturday, giving students a nice break from the end of the year academic stress. Many students came with their friends and saw the movie Top Gun Maverick. 3 short films from our Tartan Film Festival winners were shown as a preview to the movie. Spring sports are wrapping up. Congrats to all of our spring sports for doing so well and having a great season. Our orchestra program is busy preparing for the Ross Festival tomorrow evening and their curtain call concert on May 16th. Then our band program will take part in the district band concert on May 10th at GHS. We can't wait to see the whole district perform together that evening. Finally, we're getting ready for the celebrations of the class of 2023 to begin. Senior awards are set for May 18th. The Tartan Character and Achievement Award, Goodbye Assembly, and Senior Sunset are set for May 19th. Baccalaureate is on Sunday, May 21st. Grad Walk is set for Monday, May 22nd, and then graduation is set for Wednesday, May 24th. Such an exciting time for JHS. Last finals begin on Friday, May 26th, and then will continue through the end of the school year. The Tartans are ready to wrap up the 2022-2023 school year with many celebrations and success.
Never been on. Is it on? No? Yeah? Okay. I wanted to bring up our 2 student board members, Lavina Chen and Josh Medell. Did I say it right? Remember the very first night I asked you if I was saying it correctly? I hung on to it, so thank you very much. This board really values the input of our student board member representatives. We really like to hear the students' voice and the input that you all have. We appreciate the time and the effort that you come. You both have had the pleasure of being here, I think, till 10 o'clock, at least once each when we have really long board meetings. So your commitment to your schools individually and to this school district as a whole is very admirable and something that we think is very important as you move on into the next phase of your life. So thank you all, both of you, very much for your participation this year. I'd like to give my fellow board members the opportunity to make any comments at this time as well.
I'll go first. I just want to say thank you to you both. I echo what Elizabeth said. Your voice is so important to us, and we are so great. You guys represented your schools and your student body as a whole very well. You should be very proud. Are you a senior, Lavina? So both of you are leaving us, and I'm sad to see you go, but I'm so excited to see everything you're going to do in the future. So thank you again for your service and for representing very well. Thank you.
Quick. Thank you so much. Josh, especially, you have represented Wickham because we have never had a Wickham student here before, and I really appreciate that because, you know, I'm involved with Wickham and I like it. So I'm really proud of you, and you've done such a great job and represented it so well. And Lavina, you too, you've represented Glendora High School, and it's just been great to hear you. Thank you so much.
I'm very proud of you too, and I'm hoping that you take this experience onto your next levels, whether you're in college or your communities, and get to this side of the dais real quick. All right? Thank you.
I am also very proud of both of you. And what you represent is it's not just the high schools that you come from, but it's the education that you've received K-12 in the Glendora Unified School District. And you both are very well spoken. You don't have an easy job because I remember what it was like with trying to collect all of the information from all the schools, right? That's not an easy job. But you guys did a fabulous job this year. Very proud of you. And we appreciate all the work that you put in for us this year.
these tokens of our appreciation for both of you. And then I'm going to ask the board members, I've got an idea. I'm going to ask the board members to stand up and move towards the middle. And then Dr. DeGrazia, you and I will go with the student board members in front of them, and we'll have a multi-tiered photograph. Well, now, that leads me to something else. Yeah, come on up, please. Mr. Letourneau and Mrs. Norrell, please come on up. Again, because I'm the president and I kind of get to do what I want sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes. While I have you here, right before this event was a lovely retiree event celebrating all of our teachers, classified employees, and administrators that are retiring this year from Glendora Unified School District. And I think something must have happened. Maybe there was a traffic jam. Maybe the dog ate his homework. I don't know, but there was somebody that wasn't present but happens to be present right now. So if I could please have a spicy pepper plant for our spicy principal of Whitcomb High School, I'd really appreciate it if you come on up. See, I knew it was a good excuse. Mr. Osborne has some words that he'd like to say about you.
Oh, Mr. Letourneau. Mr. Letourneau has almost 40 years, believe it or not, in education, the last 10 serving as the principal of Whitcomb High School. Mr. Letourneau's passion for Whitcomb, his ability to connect with all students, his sense of humor, his fun-loving personality has positively impacted the climate and culture of Whitcomb. As he prepares for this well-earned retirement, we would like to thank you, Ron, for your mentorship personally, your leadership, and the service that you've had to your students, their families, and the staff of Whitcomb. You will surely be missed, and we're so thankful for your service to our district, your friendship, and wish you the best of luck in your retirement.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
Come take a photo with me in this pepper plant. Okay, 1, 2, and 3. I knew I could get you up here one way or another.
And I do have a comment to make.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, you do.
Thank you. So,
He is spicy, that jalapeno plant he's got there.
so I started out at Whitcomb PTSA when Becky Summers was the principal. And then when I heard she was leaving, I was very worried because I was like, who could do as good a job as Becky? And you know what? You did. You came through.
You sound son.
Well, I didn't know you before, so you did well. And I am. Was I PTA president twice when you were there, or just? I was anyway, and it's always been an honor working with you. Thank you.
Anybody else have anything they might like to say?
Paul, you got anything you want to say?
You asked for it.
It's a heavy plant.
No, and so Ron and I got to work together for a lot of years in Glendora, me as a high school principal and Ron as the Whitcomb High School principal. And we did a lot of collaboration during that time, and I thought it was good for the students at both Glendora and Whitcomb because our kids were matriculating back and forth as we would have our alternative placement committee meetings, and we would sit around the table with counselors, and we would ultimately do what's right, what's best for the student. So Ron was always student-centered, and I agree he did a great job with Whitcomb High School, and he had great connections with the kids at Whitcomb. And Whitcomb is people think it's a bad place. It is not a bad place. It is a great place. Sometimes Glendora High School is not the fit, and Whitcomb is the fit, and that is perfectly okay. Whitcomb turns out a great product, and a lot of that had to do with Mr. Letourneau's leadership.
We are in the comments that kicked off my comments from the members of the Board of Education. We'll move right along. Mr. Clifford?
Nothing tonight, ma'am.
Okay. Mrs. Garcia?
I know there's a lot that went on earlier, and I don't want to rehash the whole thing, but I do want to say a special thank you to our teachers, as it is Teacher Appreciation Week. Thank you for all your service. Thank you for all you do for our students. Food for Thought was last Friday, and it was an incredible evening. It was beautiful food, great music, great community. Some dollars were raised, which is great. I'm very excited, and more importantly, I'm very grateful to the foundation and to all the parents and community members and businesses that helped make that night possible. Thank you so much for contributing and allowing us to have extra funding for the many great things that we have planned for our students. And once again, congratulations to all the teachers, the certified and classified, and all our Problematis 5, our Ethic Bowls, wrestling, dive, cheer, piano. You guys are amazing, and really leave me in awe with the amount of things you do outside of just your curricular responsibilities. It is impressive, and I am so proud. I think I'll leave it at that. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Lopez?
Yes, I want to congratulate everybody, all the retirees from earlier today, the rookies of the year, the classified employee of the year, and the teacher of the year of Bobby Summers and Ria Kubota. It was nice to have that recognition earlier today for all of our employees that have had good careers and maybe some amazing careers here in the Glendora Unified School District. And then on to the students. We always have, Glendora continues to turn out great students who accomplish great things. And, you know, from the fields, the courts, the pools, our kids are achieving not only in the classroom, but they're achieving outside of the classroom. And then the Ethics Bowl, Pat Hart started that program, I don't know, 7, 8 years ago. They've been to the national tournament. Well, they had another chance to go to the national tournament, but I get it. You know, students, they want to go to Italy too. So that's probably more exciting than North Carolina, right? And competing in the Ethics Bowl. But Pat's turned out, the students they do a great job. We just have amazing students. And then seeing Daniel, not only is he a student at our high school and he's in the marching band and the jazz band, but also outside of school, he continues to play the piano and do great things. So just another reason for people to come to the Glendora Unified School District. We have a great, not only education, but the extracurriculars and all the other things that our students do are pretty amazing.
A few things, echo all that. Congratulations to everyone. But we went to State of the Schools last week, and Dr. DeGrazia did an outstanding job. I was a little worried, I have to admit, when Dr. Jordan from Charter Oak did it. Man, it was this really great production. I was like, oh man, outstanding, way better. So I was proud. Thank you. Also, there is, I don't know if you saw, there's a CSBA May Budget Revise workshop. I think that's Friday. So maybe it could be changed. And some of my family and I went to see Black Comedy at Citrus. Never been to one of their plays except for, you know, their Saturday afternoon matinee things. It was really quite good. Really enjoyed it. They hit a lot of things right, the right note. It was very good. The little theater, not in the hall, so it's a very small. It was good. It's kind of nice to have that now that the Glendale Center Theater is gone. So sad. Anyway, today at Glendora Community Coordinating Council, Josh Anderson is a 7th grader at Sandburg. and he received the Youth Recognition Award for his service at his church. He does a lot of, they have a food bank, and he prepares it, delivers it, and is very personable. So thanks to Mr. Osborne for heading that up, and he's always looking for nominees. Okay, and then food for thought. I was out of town because my son-in-law graduated with his master's of accountancy from BYU. Everyone knows that, but just throw it in. But
Proud.
yeah, I'm proud. Last one, we're done. Anyway, I was so glad that they do the silent auction online, because I started bidding early in the week. It was kind of get excited, got those Dodger tickets, your Dodger tickets, and someone started outbidding me. Once I realized it was an auto, I jacked it up a few. And we were at the dinner for my son-in-law's graduation, and I'm like on the phone out, bidding. I had to apologize to everybody. I did get a couple of baskets, but it was exciting to be a part of that, even though I couldn't attend. So I would encourage next year everybody who, even if you can't go, just to be involved and spend some money.
Mr. Clifford was on the.
Were you on too?
Yeah,
Mrs. Clifford won a lot of stuff.
Right.
I always go one. One. But it was good. Donation.
I think I'm going to let the celebration of our student board members be my board comments for this evening. Well, I guess I will just say, there are a couple of weeks left. And I have a senior in high school right now, and I realize that senioritis is a very real thing. So I will encourage all of our students to finish as strongly as they possibly can, but enjoy this time too, because it has gone really fast, I'm sure. In the blink of an eye, you were leaving middle school, and now here you are graduating from high school. So while I will encourage them to all do their best here for the next couple of weeks, I'll also encourage you to spend time with your friends and have a great time. And good luck to all of our teachers for the next couple of weeks. We really appreciate everything you do, and we know that things are raising to a fevered pitch. Okay, so we're going to move right on to Dr. DeGrazia and our superintendent report, please.
Thank you, President Ruther, members of the board, distinguished guests. Ms. Lavina Chen, Josh, I know had to step out, but you have been two outstanding representatives for both of your high schools. There he is. We appreciate that was on cue. Nice job, Josh. I knew you were good. But outstanding job by both, feedback and representing schools. Much, much appreciated. Our seniors at Glendora High School have 2 weeks left, a little less than 2 weeks, 16 school days to go. It's in the countdown, and it's a good reminder to finish strong and have that sustained effort and achieve that sustained student success. Whitcomb graduation is coming soon, the 23rd at the Haw Performing Arts Center in Citrus. Glendora High School will be the very next day on the 24th at the stadium. And the adult transition program will be on the 25th at the GHS Little Theater. Foundation, a successful signature fundraising event, food for thought, amazing night. Special thanks to the Richards family, Dwight and Pam, for opening their home. It was a beautiful setting and a beautiful night to get that event back after a few years of being away. Thank you to the very generous and supportive Glendora Unified community as they supported at all levels that night, and the foundation exceeded their goal for that evening. They will report their totals out soon. They still have donations coming in. Last week we held our final 2x2 meeting. 2 city council members and 2 school board members of the school year. We will meet again quarterly next year to discuss items such as our joint use MOU and other collaborative efforts as we work together and for the betterment of all kids in our community. Commendations and thank yous to our teachers, as the day of the teacher is Wednesday. To all of our nursing staff, it's the school nurses day on Wednesday as well, and all staff for everything they do each and every day. Classified School Employees Week, we'll recognize them on May 21st through the 27th. And to our retirees, we thank them for their 311 years of cumulative service to the Glendora Unified School District. We were able to honor them. I do want to recognize them by stating their name for the record. At this moment, we've received certificated staff retirees from Betsy Douglas, longtime teacher at Sandburg, Mitzi Farricker, teacher at Goddard, Janelle Hall, a teacher here at Sellers, Jeffrey Leatherer, a teacher at Sandburg, Kathy Lindahl, teacher at Cullen, and Ann Oros, teacher or counselor at Glendora High School. Our administrative staff, you met one of our retirees, Mr. Ron Letourneau from Whitcomb High School. And Mr. Steve Bishop is retiring from here at Sellers. 17 years as the principal at Sellers Elementary School, third longest serving elementary principal in the history of the district. From our classified staff, Donna Dundas, many, many, many years at Stanton. Sonia Klein, it was her second stint in Glendora Unified. She came back home to finish her career. Lynn Melvey, here at Sellers also, an aide for the autism program. And Cindy Patrone and Devette Solomon retired earlier in the year as campus aides. They worked together for many, many years, since 1999, together at Glendora High School. And then Cindy Tier, music aide, is our final retiree. I wanted to recognize them and commend them for the many, many years of dedicated service to the district. Thank you.
Okay, we're going to move right along to our discussion action items. Item 5.1, approval for the declaration of indefinite salaries for the unrepresented employees' salaries for 2022-2024. May I have a motion? What did I say? 2023 to 2024. Thank you. Okay, thank you, Mrs. Merkley, for moving and Mrs. Garcia for seconding. Is there somebody that can give us a little bit of information about this action item, please?
Sure. So this item before you really is kind of similar to a Me Too type language, where basically the unrepresented groups are our managers, and to ensure that if there is a negotiated raise in salary, that they too would be entitled to that.
Does anybody have any questions or discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? It passes unanimously. Thank you. Item number 5.2, approval of the Fairbank, Maslin, Mullen, Metz and Associates, FM3 Research Service Agreement as presented. May I have a motion?
I'll second.
Okay. May we have a little bit of information on this one as well?
Sure. The item before you this evening really has to do with surveying our community to see whether or not there is any interest in us having a school bond to be able to work on our facilities. This survey has been done before in the past, and this gives the board insight information as to our community, where they stand on the issue, and whether or not this would be something that the board then would want to consider for future ballot consideration. We would be looking at the next time we could possibly do a school bond is in 2024. We do it on even years. And so the first opportunity would be in March, the second opportunity would be in November. But unless you have information about where our survey stands from our community and their feelings, it's really hard to go off and make a decision. So this really provides the board with information through critical questions and through a series of questions to the community to be able to determine that. In 2020, the board made a decision not to go forward after seeing the survey. And felt that was not the right timing. Obviously, we're in the heart of the pandemic when all that happened. It continued, and perhaps that was not the right timing at that time. And so this will just give us that opportunity.
About how long can we expect the data collection to take, where we would have the some sort of executive summary or report back to the board?
Yeah, I would imagine we'll have it probably, I don't know if we'll have it in time for your next board meeting in June. I would imagine that we would probably have it for the fall, for your first board meeting coming back in August for sure. And we may have it in time for your last board meeting in July. That timing may not be the best to go off and present it because the community won't really be back in session yet. And I think we want to make sure that when we do the presentation that as many eyes are and ears are able to hear what we learned, and we learned it together.
I have a question. What does that process look like as far as surveying the community? Is it a community survey that anyone can fill out, or is it a targeted audience? How does that work?
Great question. So it's actually done through a sampling of high propensity voters that turn out for any type of an election. They use that sampling to be able to learn from our community who may be interested in one coming to the ballot. and then responding to ballots and making sure that we really have a good segment of our voters. And so it's done through a random sampling that's actually grabbed. There will be about, I believe it's 400 questions, about 15 minutes in length for the survey. And it is done randomly. We don't know who it is here at the district as to who's being surveyed. I don't have a say-so in that. It is all selected confidentially through the Register of Voters, in that list done through a random element of sampling. Hopefully that answers your question.
And just to clarify, not 400 questions in the questionnaire, just 15 questions to 400 respondents.
I'm sorry, yes, 15
Okay.
minutes worth of questions.
Because no one's going to sit down and answer 400.
No, as a matter of fact, we had some options. I mean, there's a 15-minute, 20-minute, 30-minute type survey. I think 15 minutes, I think, will give us a good idea. And I think it's also enough time to ask our community to give up some time to be able to share their thoughts.
Okay, all those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? The motion passes unanimously. Discussion action item number 5.3, approve, ratify the Insight Financial Services 3-year agreement as presented. May I have a motion? Okay, Mrs. Garcia. Oh, in a turn of events, Mrs. Merkley is going to second it. Is Mrs. Espino going to come up and talk to us about this a little bit? Please.
Hello, good evening. So I'm excited to talk to you about this. It's been, I think, a long time coming. As you know, technology has a very short lifespan. So this is a lease agreement that is with our like a leasee that we already have a relationship with from our previous device lease. And so right now our teachers are using the Dell laptops that many of you are using. We have had them for 3 years. They are the devices, I believe, when we acquired them, it was during the height of the pandemic when we were grabbing anything we could because all of the devices were in short supply. They've done really hard work for us as we move from distance learning back to hybrid and then now into fully in-person learning, but they are due for a refresh. Our lease is up at the end of this school year, and so we've been doing a lot of legwork to try to figure out what the next step for us is going to be. It was decided, I think, during the last lease cycle that leasing was a good option for us because it keeps us on track to refresh every 3 years. And just it keeps us in a continuous cycle of always moving forward when it comes to technology. In the past, when we had made purchases, we got stuck for several years with technology and it was way past end of life. And now in today's environment, that poses a security risk because everything is networked. And so if we have end of life products that it can't be updated, then it causes a threat to our infrastructure. So the proposal is based on a lot of input. So the tech team got together and reviewed devices, decided on a few core devices that would work, and then we threw it out to a couple of teachers who tested it in their environment, in their classroom, and gave us feedback. And then we went out to the masses and made it available for 2 days for teachers and staff members to come take a look and give their feedback. So in all, we looked at 6 different devices. We had a low range, a high range, and then a mid range, and teachers, without knowing what the range qualifier was, actually settled on the mid-range device. It provides enough update to where they feel like they're getting something new and more functional, but still has a familiarity that the Dell devices have. So the big difference between our last lease and this lease, and why there is a price difference, is that we have learned from our first go at having mobile devices. One of the learning points was that teachers, some of them are using those laptops as desktops. So they're plugging them in and they're leaving them plugged in. And they're not taking them home unless they absolutely have to. And so what happens is when you leave it plugged in 24 hours a day, the battery ends up getting fried. And so not only that, but also the mobility of it, like having to plug in all of your peripherals as a teacher. You have document cameras and projectors and speakers and webcams and all these things. And instead, we're looking at purchasing docking stations. So it's a single plug to charge and regulate power, to connect all the peripherals. So there's less need to unplug and plug back in everything, and it keeps the battery protected. The other thing that we've learned is from this past lease that having a service plan that matches your lease term is important. That we need to make sure that we can service these devices. We don't have the capacity, the small team that we are, to service all of them in-house. But for an added cost, we can build it into our lease, and then we can do a depot kind of pick up and fix with the manufacturer. So we've added that in as well. Finally, the last thing that's included that wasn't previously included is a service for what they call white glove service. So imaging them all, getting them prepped, making sure that they're all documented properly so that when we do go to distribute them, it makes it a lot smoother and a lot easier for us to track that inventory than it was during our pandemic rush to get those devices out. So it's taking some of the learning of what we learned from our last go around with tech, and then also kind of looking to the future to say, what do we want the next 3 years with these laptops to look like, and so what capacity do they need to have? So a little more powerful, a little bit more of high-tech features involved in them. It comes with like a Wolf security package that will really keep us, I think, as safe as we need to be with all the devices, mobile and wireless. So I am open to questions if you have any. That's the gist of it.
I have a question. So in total, the cost is a little under $600,000, correct?
Yeah.
How many devices are we talking about, and what other devices on top of the laptops? You mentioned the docking station. That's great, but is that it? Is just the laptops and docking stations?
So
And how
right
many?
now, yeah. So right now, this lease it's for 450. So enough for every classroom teacher, and then as well as some of our classified office staff who use them, and other service providers. The goal is to have everybody who has a laptop now have a replacement device. If they have that Dell device, we want to be able to swap it out. We did have some devices purchased on top of the lease, like extra devices, but that was when we were putting devices in like everybody's hand during the pandemic. So we were purchasing probably more than we needed, plus with a reduction in some of our staffing, as people are retiring and we're not bringing on new employees, we may need less. So it's the laptop, the docking station, the imaging, and the service protection included in that. We have a budget for tech refresh. So when we went into the lease 3 years ago, knowing that this was going to come up, the business department has done a wonderful job of budgeting for this refresh. So there's been about $1 million set aside for all technology refresh. So this is going to be a chunk of it, and then if we need to refresh other items, like a secondary monitor, or if we need to refresh some desktops in other departments, we still have some money to do that. We're also looking at probably the next phase, as we put money away, is to look at some of the display, like we have Promethean panels and things from some of our Title I schools, but looking at what the next level is going to be, when it comes to refreshing other types of devices. But for now, it's the 450 to cover most of our teacher, or all of our teacher users, and most of our other users who would be assigned a device, and all the peripherals they'll need for that.
And just to clarify, the current computers that we have now, the Dells, those are also leased, so those are going back?
Those are leased, and so the good thing is that we have had some because they weren't serviceable, we didn't have a service plan for them. We are able to change like for like, so they don't have to be the exact same device that we leased, as long as we give them an equal device. So I believe we'll be able to get all of the devices that we have originally leased back into their hands without being charged for devices we don't have. If we do have over 450, then we'll keep the ones that we've got as an overage and keep those in circulation for some lower level tasks. The devices are still usable, but I say that kind of with hesitation because we are having, we've experienced issues with like Wi-Fi compatibility. You guys are nodding because I know you've experienced it too, but Wi-Fi compatibility on our Meraki access points, and some of the trackpads are starting to delay a little bit when you're trying to use them. They're just aging, because they're workhorses every single day being used. It's hard to keep them going as strong as when we first got them. So we'll keep the ones that are in good condition, that are able to be kept. But other than that, they are leased, and so they'll be returned.
Thank you. Thank you for working hard to find that option for the district and saving some dollars. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, and by paying up front, so one of the things too that was asked earlier outside of this meeting though was, so is it every year it's going to be $600,000. No, it's one payment up front that's just under, it's in the high 500,000 range because we were able to save about $24,000 by making it one payment. And since we have budgeted and we do have that money, it made sense for us to make the payment up front because it was a good chunk of savings. So it's a one-time over the 3 years.
Quick point of order. Would you, on future invoices, would you ask them to spell the name of our street correctly, please?
Oh, yes, and my name.
Yeah, I'm just looking at it and hoping
Two
that's
R's,
not a,
yes.
You know, I don't want to be irreverent, but I just, you know, I'm kind of a detail-oriented person when I read
Yes.
things, and I just want to make sure you could have them. I was going to call Miss O'Donnell myself, but you could do it for me.
Yeah, no, I'll call her for sure, especially since this is our second lease with her. So I want to make sure that it's
I
correct.
just don't know the history of our street, you know, it's a personal thing. Thank you.
Yes, I will make sure.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Espino. That was a really helpful explanation of how we're moving forward. I really appreciate it. All those in favor? Aye. Any
I have
opposed?
one more question.
Oh, I beg your pardon.
But that's fine. Any thought about Apple products?
I look at Dr. DeGrazia because did he plant you? No. So right now, yeah. It would be a major shift for us in a lot of different ways to move to Apple products, not just in like buying the devices, but also in developing expertise within our team to support them, because our team is really PC heavy. We do have like iPads in specific populations in the district, but it's not really widely used. It's not something I'm completely against, but it's something that would be a long range project to bring Apple products as our standard. Yeah. So yeah, it's definitely something that's been whispered to me occasionally. Just personal preference though, not not anything beyond that.
I apologize. Any other questions?
All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? The motion passes unanimously. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, we're going to move along to our consent items. The Board of Education may consider agenda consent items as a whole or as individual divisions. Any item may be removed by a member of the board for discussion and possible action. Would anybody like to pull any of the consent items?
I'll make a motion to approve items 7.1 through 10.2.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The consent items have been unanimously approved. We come to that point of the evening where I'm going to ask for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All those in favor? Aye. This meeting is adjourned at 8:09 p.m.